What's up, mate? We haven't reviewed anything this week, so we're gonna go back and I drew in that H1. We're just gonna try to replay this shit. This is Monday of this week. Really doesn't matter if you're looking back at this years in the future. It doesn't matter, potatoes, but it's Monday. It just keeps pushing higher, bro. Right? This was our zone. We popped right through that bitch. Maybe we'll retest it. You know? What did the? Let's see what the volume profile look back there. If it loads, it's not loading. I mean, doesn't matter. So yeah, let's just run this through. See how long this takes. I have a feeling we're just not even going to touch that zone, but let's see. I'm just trying to look at some zones here. Yeah, it's been weird. It's like, I don't know if you guys do this, but I could just go through phases where like I don't think about anything but trading. And then man, just life. And then I don't look at it for like a week or two. But I will say I'm still thinking about it. I started listening to Mark Douglas's book again for like the fourth time. Sometimes I just look at numbers in Excel when I'm at work and I'm like, what does 10% look like? You know, just that stupid shit you do when you're like thinking about how much money you can make, which you shouldn't do. It is stupid, but okay. It is. Oh, let's also draw in our situation here. You know, just dumb stuff, just fantasizing. But I've also, I mean, there's a upward line. There you go. This is pre-market, but it's like, would you take that? Not with this low down here. Not with that low. Like pre-market, we can't trade on. We're real prop firm hours, so we can't trade on pre-market anyways. That does look pretty good though. Maybe a little 1-to-1. I mean, definitely 1-to-1, right? Yeah. I mean, this and there sell off. The right at 9:30. I have a feeling that's going to get reversed. I just have a feeling that's going to get reversed, bro. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the weeks of uptrend that we've had. This okay, it looks like it's coming down to this supply zone right here, plus VWAP up. Okay. I mean, I like that. I like that a lot. Stop making it higher highs though. But the uptrend of this does just feel like it's just like kind of snapping up some liquidity. I mean, it's bouncing right after the VWAP. The question is, do we think we'll test this boy down here? There's a lot of volume down here, and there's very little right here. There's very little volume. I would say this is it. Maybe let's try. The candles don't look amazing though. Let's see how this one closes. Like if we can, hello, if we can break above this bit. If we can't break above that though, I think if you look at those two together, you know, I'm feeling a little hubristic right now. I think if it does bounce out of here, it's going to go stupid mode. So let's Haven't made a video in a while. I'm going to go a little crazy. Okay. All right. Let's just see what happens, though. Oh, yeah. It just snatches your entry, and then what? Oh, okay. I have faith in this. Sorry, I'm moving so much. I'm so jacked up. I just feel like the dump at right at open right there. Oh, you getting a double top right there. That's a little sketchy. But I just feel like the dump at the open right there. That's not good. Ooh, yeah. Take a 1-1 on that, boys. Take a uno to uno on that one. Don't get hubristic like me. Don't forget. I mean, that could be that could be the beginning of the downtrend. This is not good. I've had a couple potions, so I'm making bad decisions. So basically, don't listen to anything I say today. But that was a good entry for a 1-1. Okay. Oh yeah. My goofy ass is getting confused. Oh no, it wasn't. Like just barely. Okay, so what was happening was it actually, and I didn't even look at this. It just completely failed to cross this big volume gap here. That's exactly where it blinked out. So if you either target that, which is less than 1-1, or you see it bounce off the volume gap again, then maybe just get out after that big long, whatever. So not even a good 1-1. Good for a little bit of a bounce. You know that's going to happen. You know a little bit of a bounce is going to come. But remember, this is like also what I just did was pretty much trying to. This is the sober talking. This is not the alcohol talking. What I did was try to catch the bottom, thinking it's going to go like this. It never does that. Okay. If it is going to come down heavy and come into a big supply zone, it's much. I mean, not that it never does that. It does that sometimes, but you can't catch those. Just wait for this to happen. And then get in here and then go boom. And ideally it's more of like comes down, makes a little high, comes down, hits your zone, right? Break down. That's the entry right there. Okay. So I'm being silly right now, but that's really what you should be waiting. We should have been waiting for like this. Jesus Christ. We should have been waiting for this. And also, this is what we should have been waiting for. But it's also not a great, like, it doesn't form a great zone. Like, you have to assume that you're using the old zone. I actually wonder what that does. Yeah, no. So what I just described actually would have worked perfectly. So we'll leave that because that was a loss. I took that loss. But basically, if you're either leaving, like, letting this zone persist or drawing this as a zone, you see this tap into that zone, this green candle, and we broke. Broke this one when the newer zone formed. We broke this high also. So that was the one. This was the one that you want to take for 1-1. And that's a nice, easy $1,000. But we didn't do that because we're silly billies. We took that. Okay, let's keep it going. Yeah, this is going to turn out. This is just going to be Monday. I think it's going to bounce. But now that we're breaking below the VWAP, now I'm thinking maybe we'll test that. Let's see if we break these highs or not. forget that this is what this day looks like so far. This is a down day. This actually has been a down. I haven't really been thinking about this, but this. Well, no, it's been an up day since then. But what does that look like? Okay, so we're not getting up to these highs. A lot of volume forming right there where we're at. Look at how the volume forms. That's one of the big problems with looking back at volume profile, like not replay, but back testing just by looking at it as a whole. Just make sure you're dragging the profile. If you're backtesting volume profile, make sure you're dragging the volume profile. Because that's stuff you'll miss. You'd be like, oh, there's a big fat zone. I would have taken a bounce here, or I would have not taken a trade here because it's here. Like this wasn't here a second ago. When we were here, it was a node, yeah, but there was a node up here. There was a node up here of the same size. Now is when it's, making its name be heard. I mean, don't even try to do anything in here. Don't even bother. This is a dog shit zone. We're still pretty I love that. I like this. Let's see. That's not in a good area though. So okay. Now it's really letting loose. The bulls, I mean, there was some kind of something going on in here, but the bears really just finally didn't want to sell. I don't love this. I don't love the candle right here. This is one of those ones that would have worked as a one-to-one only because the candle is the zone. That's kind of the only reason, and you're in an uptrend. But I just gonna stay out of anything that kind of looks like that with this slope like that. Yeah, it does bounce out of there. Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Okay, am I missing anything? I mean, get this. But that doesn't break anything. It doesn't break any structures on the way up. I don't love that. I mean, I'm really just drawing everything, but these zones are not good. The reactions at these zones are not good. Look at the big candle wick up there. It's just still a little bit sideways for me. I don't love it. So what I'm thinking is today there was one good trade. And we just jumped in too early, boy. Well, no, not that we jumped in too early. We got too green. Actually, yeah, we did jump in too early. We jumped in too early and we got greedy. So, but I'm off those potions, baby. I'm just doing me. Okay. We gotta get serious though. I feel that I'm manifesting. Listening to affirmations. I feel the energy flowing. You know what I'm saying? I feel the novelty. I feel the new era coming in. Basically, um, basically, I feel like I want to start a prop firm thing again. Not. I mean, I got my tax return, but not yet. Like I haven't been replaying all these days. A lot of them I've been looking at not from replay, just like from retrospect, because I want to take the time. But if I'm going to start a prop firm, I need to like actually. I should be doing. I mean, really, that like now that I have $50 to put in an account, I should be doing sim trade. But I just feel pretty good about this style. You know. Okay, so what happened today? I didn't see anything right near. I don't like we've seen this again and again. I just never like it when a zone forms. You're like, oh look, a zone. Let's make this a little clearer. Oh look, a nice fat, beautiful zone for me to buy out of. And then you start anticipating you get like emotionally attached to the setup before the setup happen, like before it works out, because you see this happen and in your mind you're like, it's going to come down and it's going to go up. That's what's happening in your mind. But what's happening in the market right now is it consolidates and then maybe it goes up a little bit, but it's kind of wicky up there. So you're not, and then it comes down again and it consolidates, grabs a little, and then it consolidates, and then it consolidates, and then it comes down. And it doesn't even look good on the way down. So at the end of the day, you're like the part of your mind that just saw this and was like, it's good, this is my setup. That part of your brain is looking at this, just this part, not this. That's what the part of your brain is looking at, the greedy part. And it's saying, oh my God, this is going to go up like crazy. And here's funny thing is, it kind of did. No, it didn't. It didn't, because like this zone is kind of equivalent to this zone. But if this zone is equivalent to this zone, then like no fucking didn't. It bounced a little bit and then went down and took out your stop if your stop is below the zone. And then it didn't even touch this zone if you're looking at that zone. So you just cannot, you can't let the part of your ego that's like anticipating these moves control the way that you perceive the moves as they actually. Okay. So what I'm thinking is when I'm drawing all of you see how many fucking zones I'm drawing. I'm just thinking, ooh, that's a nice zone. Ooh, that's a nice zone. Ooh, that's a nice zone. Both ways. That's a nice zone, and we broke this. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking, oh, it's just a liquidity grab. I'm gonna buy. I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking, here's a nice zone. I don't care about this zone anymore. I'm still thinking about this zone because this structure broke this high. So if it comes down here, now I'm like, I'm interested. But not if the candles look like this with a bunch of wicks on top, Then I'm like, okay. Because then I'm thinking that's gonna happen. So it's like a live in the moment thing, I guess. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm off those potions, bro. It's just like don't let your yeah, I think it really just comes down to like don't impose your will on the market. That's what it comes down to. It's like the market gonna do what the market gonna do. You know what I'm saying? And just because you got a good setup back here, or just because you missed the trade back here followed by a good setup, doesn't mean that it's going to happen again. Maybe that could be the only good trade all damn day, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like you just need to like compartmentalize things a little bit and just look at what's happening right now and look at the way it's reacting to stuff. Cool. Nice lecture. Nice lecture. Let's actually draw. Let's last thing we'll do here is why don't we take these trades? I bought in right here at the break. I mean, honestly, the candles weren't that great, so that's not the most important. Bad. In confirmation, which was this higher low. That's what that double top formed up here was where we didn't see this, where this big volume gap was. And it looked even more heinous when we were actually at that. You could see the big, it wasn't even that gray volume, look the red volume. So, I mean, honestly, like what were the reasons to long here? Chill. These are bad reasons. What were the reasons to long here? Because we've got to put everything in. We've got to see how everything is kind of weighted. Okay, let's throw a little more thing there. And that's the thing that's the mess I kind of drew out where I'm talking about this macro price action where it's like, yeah, it formed a big zone, went down, it consolidated, it did break this high, it did break that high, but then it broke some lows, it didn't break this high, it came down here, it made some more lower highs, bang, so this is all it is. Not this. Not that. This. That. That's what we want. Not this. That. Okay. Man. It's a little gloomy outside. People are honking at each other. That's fine. Bad. Okay. Why? And let's be thorough. Why the green zone? Why the green arrow? VWAP bounce, I think, is still relevant. Actually, I didn't even look. Is this? There's no volume below it. That's the big ones, the higher low for the bounce. Good signal bar. Okay. Chill. This is it, then we're done, I swear. I don't know how to describe it, but the zone not 100% is like, man. This zone isn't the greatest, and this zone is like kind of been dipped into, but I feel like the older zones, kind of macro zones, is like might be a little better. So that's not the worst. So yeah, so that makes a lot more sense for a road on one. Okay, okay, boys, we're gonna make Tuesday part of this video here. Um, yeah, I missed out on a lot of shit this week, but we're just gonna try to get through this. Okay, and then maybe replay Wednesday through Friday offline. But let's keep this ball rolling. So this big supply zone back here, it looked like it was going to bounce down from here, and it did actually for a little bit, down to like this kind of demand. Um, it hasn't even hit the bottom yet. I've seen Tuesday. I know it goes up. I know the rest of the week goes up because it was like just crazy news. But let's just do our replays and et cetera, et cetera. And it is starting to go back up in the pre-market, so you get a little bit of a, since 5 o'clock, you get a little bit of a warning there. If you were short, this would now be the time to not be short. Let's just run through it. Let's just draw our boxes. And I'm having what in non-technical speak. I'm having one of those having a week or a couple weeks where I really just like, I don't want to say I don't care about trading. I still think about it a lot, and I still look at some psychology videos, but I'm trying to think more about the psychology now. And I think this happened last summer too. Like, the less engaged I am, the less obsessed and involved I am sometimes, the better. That might not be the case for a super beginner because like you have a lot to learn, but I feel like I have something that I can make work if I can think about it the right way. And I think like the less you're irked by your trades, the better, So like if you're if you take a loss and you feel like it's the end of the world, obviously that's not going to do good for you because it just changes the ways that your mind pursues wins and losses, and then you make dopamine driven decisions instead of data driven decisions. I hate like every fucking, such a buzz phrase at this point, but you know what I mean. You're not looking at the market and what's actually happening in the market to make your decisions. You're reaching when you should be reaching. You're staying out of trades because you're scared, But for me, just not, really just like not being super involved helps sometimes because it's like, okay, let's just take the trades and that's it, You still got to do your chart reviews. Admittedly, that's where I'm lacking with this current attitude is I haven't been doing chart reviews every day. Part of that is just being busy, but you got to get it in, boys. You got to get it in. Okay, so I broke through that level. This might just be, we might just talk about psychology all day, But, and we're really just like, this also just looks like one of those runaway days that doesn't, it's not going to let you in, which is fine. But yeah, I'm talking about all that because I do want to start another profit challenge, and I don't want to be premature. I know that doing replay mode on TradingView is like very different from doing live. I mean, simulation is still like, I don't have a sim account right now. Maybe I should. People say you don't get emotions on sim, but dude, I would get emotional on sim. Maybe that's a bad thing, or maybe that's a good thing because it was like I'm practicing having emotions. Um, but yeah, you know what? I don't think this is good right here, but I just realized we kind of missed this. This was like a little consolidation before this. You could have bought this candle, but what I don't like is how you can't break above that high until that candle. So I'm gonna leave that out. Let's skip that. This is also a day that there are some things that you can get a little because the trend is so strong. You have a little bit of wiggle room if you're with your criteria. If you are just trying to get in, I wouldn't. I wouldn't stretch to get in too much. I wouldn't like FOMO in because that's also a great way to get crushed. But I mean, the trend is trending, baby. You know what I'm saying? Just looking for somewhere. And this kind of looks good, but I don't like this price action. And is there a lot of volume forming up here? This is the edge of volume area high. So this kind of makes me think like maybe people are taking profits up here, and we've already had a super big up move. So I don't know if it's the best time to get in again until we see some conviction that we're going to keep going up, and this might be it. No, I don't know. It's like how far do you want to let that go down? Like you could. I'm gonna say that's a let's. I'm gonna say let's buy it right there. That's also very little risk. It's what is the volume saying right here? So there's it's kind of the edge of volume down here. So maybe it wants to keep going up. Cool. So that's what I mean when I said you have a little bit of leeway. So this isn't a beautiful zone, but it's bouncing out of this zone. You can't really, I mean, it doesn't touch this, but that's not even like technically a perfect zone. So if you buy out of here, you're going to be buying out of a zone ish, like not a specific zone. You're going to be buying out of an area that you just think is like, do you know what I mean? This is the leeway I'm talking about. The 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 specificity of the zone isn't the most important thing here. The most important thing is that we're making higher lows. What I really like is that this impulse broke through that high convincingly, and then came down to make a higher low and then moved back up. So that's what I like. It came down to this area where we already had a big push up with a gap. And it pretty much just filled that gap perfectly from this green candle. So that's why in this uptrend, that's why that works. In my opinion. What happened to the is there not another one? This isn't very helpful though, to be honest. Okay. You could probably hold this. See, it came down and tapped the new zone here. I don't, you know. Okay, you couldn't hold that. Sorry.
It's
Kind of, yeah. No, so now lower high, a lot of conviction going down. Going to the afternoon. It's really pushing down, baby. Okay. Really pushing down. Why?
it's
Kind of bounced out of that. This isn't the worst entry. Right? There's like no volume down here. So kind of bouncing off of this demand zone. It's kind of hard to see a little bit. You're bouncing off of this demand zone. And there's this gap of volume down here. This is just like no volume. So maybe we don't want to go down here. There's nothing for us to test down here. It has been a steep sell-off, so it's not great. But I think that would have worked for a 1-to-1. Yeah. Okay, so maybe we're making a little. Maybe this is where we're bouncing now.
it's
I don't like all the consolidation right now. The wickiness, the lower lows, the lower highs, I mean. This could be an important zone that holds up. We did bounce out of there. But okay.
it's
Okay. Do you short here? I don't love it. It's kind of it formed a base at the POC right here. I think it just took out some liquidity and like now it's coming back up. Don't forget, this is what the whole day looks like. So the attempted bear reversal might have just completely failed. This was a higher low. So I'd say not the best short. Yeah. It would have worked for a little bit. Could have taken the 1-to-1 right there.
it's
Yeah.
it's
Just right down to the 1-to-1. But I'm okay with not taking that. And that was the end of the day, and it's like kind of higher lows and everything. What's going on? It's not a great. It comes up and bounces out of that zone again, but it's not the best reaction. Now you just got weird. It's the end of the day. You got weird stuff going on. Would you look at that? I'm not going to take that kind of risk. This is now just looking like a range though, so maybe it'll come back up to the zone up here. But it is 345, 355. There you go. All right. Yeah, this is gonna take forever if I do the rest of the week, but
it's
Shea.